What about it, YouTube? Alright, it seems maybe appropriate to add my 2 cents in on, hey, the latest with Tomi Lauren and how she put out basically sort of like a resume out there to all men. And, just sort of super cucks need only apply, and everyone else is some kind of a simp, something that doesn't compete well with her. Um, you guys maybe have seen some of the videos. There's been Human, there's been even, I mean, uh, Jesse Lee Peterson, there's been Solo TV, and my goodness, there's been a host of others who have basically taken Tommy's resume and thrown it in the garbage can because no man wants to compete with a woman. No man wants to be challenged at every hook and crook by some woman who's into some kind of third wave feminism fairness thing where if her opinion isn't heard and if her opinion isn't respected and ultimately if her opinion doesn't win out, then that's not equality. No man wants to put up with that crap. No man wants to compete with you. No man wants to be challenged by you. Solo TV has his way of describing it. He talks about femininity and how everything about Tomi Lauren lacks femininity. And I remember an old Ramsey Paul video that I thought put it very well, actually, that women, when it comes to bonding and pair bonding, male, female, pair bonding to create a nuclear family, to have not just transient sterile sex, which is all that the landscape offers now. There's nothing but transient sterile sex. Doesn't matter if you're heterosexual, homosexual, transgender, doesn't matter how you identify. Everything about sex now is transient and sterile. So, going back to Tomi though, that's part of the problem with Tomi is nobody's interested in using. In fact, that kind of brings up. Have you seen the commercial with the? It's like a movie with like an AI sex doll that communicates with a dude's girlfriend. Are you kidding me? Dudes with girlfriends theoretically have sex dolls, and then the idea is the sex doll comes out and says, we're all just sex dolls until we defeat the patriarchy. That's what I'm getting at here with Tomi. Is, look, somebody's opinion's going to win out, right? Every time a man's opinion wins out, oh, that was unfair, that was the patriarchy, that was stifling, that was unfair, that was misogynistic, that was terrible, that was legacy, that needs to be canceled, right? So now we're in a position where every time a woman challenges a man, we have to defer to the woman. Every time in relationships and politics, everywhere else, right? It's like she has what they call in technical terms a vagina, and now this vagina logic has taken over and nothing can compete with it. And if you don't respect it, oy vey, right? So that's the problem here. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who's hyper this mentality, Tomi. Doesn't matter how cute you are. Doesn't matter how cute you are. I know the nicest girl in the world, but she looks like a burnt stump, and she lives in a place with roaches. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say that for a man's looking for a woman who can clean, who can make good dinners, who's gonna support him, be faithful, who doesn't have a lot of road traffic. I got lost on my thing with Ramsey Paul. He compared it to sticky tape. Girls bonding with men is like sticky tape. It only has so many times you can stick it, peel it away, and stick it again before it loses all of its stick. That's what they call being turned out in street terms. When you turn out, it doesn't matter male or female now. If you take the innocence away from a child and you turn them out, they are now unable to even conceive, to be able to bond, to even have the kernels of trust are no longer there. It's like poking out somebody's eye and expecting them to see again. They're done. They're done. And that's the tragedy with women. And I didn't make up the rules. It's not the same with men. It's not great that men would be philanderers, but men can have more of a history and be committed and faithful and down with the family, with the one that he loves. Because that's what men are looking for, is the one that they can, the diamond in the rough, if you will. There's always been women that were trouble and women that were on a different level, whether they were prostitutes or whatever, right? That they weren't women to take home to mom. Okay? So men are out to look for a woman they can take home to mom, Tomi. And who are you, you know? Oh, and someone's got to compete. Can you imagine having to try and compete? Would you ever consider dating me, Tomi? No, you would never even consider that. So forget how good of a guy I am, or how unattractive or attractive you might find me, or whatever else. But I've been with at least as good a looking girl as you, so I'm not even worried about that part on my side. That's not even an issue with me and you, okay? But to me, it's not. I'm not glorified by. I'm not like blown away by how hot you are. Without makeup, I've been with way better than you actually without makeup. So I know you're all into yourself. And see, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not with that hot chick now. And why is that? Because they get so much attention from the wrong people and the Rico Suaves who come flying through. And you're so dumb. Have you ever thought that maybe you're so dumb that you won't give somebody else a chance, who's like got some wholesome attitude about himself, who wants to lead, and you won't defer to that? You won't succumb to that? You won't submit to that? You won't find your feminine nature and be submissive in a relationship? And that's the problem I'm talking about. You want to compete. You have to compete. You have to win. When you win, you can't respect the man. And then that's his fault. It's your fault, dude. It's your fault that I lost respect for you, and then I'm looking at your friend now and I want to go to bed with him. That's your fault, because you started to like defer to me every time, because you found out that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. You found out that the bear wasn't worth the spray. However you want to compare it. It's just like, look, Tomi, you're asking for the impossible. You don't want to be feminine. You don't want to offer up any value other than, oh, I'm so good because I'm accomplished or something. Men don't worry about that. They don't care about that. That's what you would care about a man. What a man's looking for is someone who can nurture and bring up kids and wipe little and do the diaper duty and do the cooking and the cleaning. Oh yeah, that's so misogynistic. But hey, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, is somebody who will do that. Not that we won't, just that will you do it? Will you do it or not? If you won't do it and it's going to all be on us, then the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Sorry, you're worthless. You're worthless. And out there in the fields and out there in school and everything else, and STEM and whatever else goes on, it's like, why? What are you doing? You're using up all of your fertile years again to be sterile. as to be part of the system, to go punch a clock, to go be part of some what? You're not missing out on having to go bust your ass and earning a living. You're not missing out. What you're missing out on is being able to kick back at home with the kids and nurture them and give them a wholesome understanding of life and keep their innocence intact so that they can develop into accomplished adults and well-balanced adults who had a mother and a father whose ultimate goal was glorifying God with family and love and pursuing what's good and not just what's selfish. So sorry, Tommy. That's going to be my video to you, Tommy. I threw your resume in the trash. I know how bad you wanted to get with me, and I'm sorry that's not going to work out. But I have no interest in you. I'm doing just fine without you. Just fine. And that doesn't mean that I'm socking the puppet. Okay? It just means that I don't need that anymore. That's not what's important. All of the hypergamy and all of the vapid worldliness that's all involved in this new age feminism, and then the legal sort of nobody complains, like everything legacy is bad, but when the legal stuff's legacy, where it's like, oh wait, does she need alimony? Oh wait, what does she need? Oh, does she needs all of this from the dude, right? And I'm just throwing that in. It's like, it's so not worth it, Tommy. It's so not worth it. You are so risky. You are so risky. You are toxic. You're like, wow. You are like antifreeze to a dog and a cat. That's what you are. You look sweet, you taste sweet, but you're poison. And I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to just break up. And I know that breaks your heart, but I'm breaking up with you this time, by the way, because you threw your resume out there and I threw it away. That means I broke up with you. So don't go around talking about how you never broke up with anybody. I got you this time. God bless.